is unique in a lot of ways. But one way is there are other state coalitions and organizations and alliances that take up many good social issues, but almost none of them that deal with domestic issues will also address foreign policy issues. And that is usually largely due to their funding sources, which tell them very clearly what issues they can take on and which ones they can't. And oftentimes in the peace movement, organizations that deal with issues of international affairs don't address domestic issues and become separated from and alienated from domestic struggles. The Virginia People's Assembly is different, and it consciously draws the connection between the struggles here at home and wars abroad, not only on the issue of military spending, but the fact that these wars are directed overwhelmingly against working people who have far more in common with us, and we have far more in common with them than we do with the people, any of us, with the people dropping the bombs. So we'd like to make that explicit by putting the 2014 BPA on record as opposing war and military spending. So this is the resolution. Whereas the United States is now in what amounts to a permanent state of global war, and whereas this war is not being fought in the defense of the people of the United States, but rather to establish U.S. dominance in the world with the goal of maximizing the profits of U.S. corporations and financial institutions. And whereas these wars in the Middle East, Africa, Latin America, and other areas have resulted in great suffering to millions of people, and whereas we recognize that our enemies are not the poor and working people of other countries, especially those countries presently or formerly oppressed, colonized, and exploited by Western powers. And whereas the U.S. military budget has doubled in the last 12 years, resulting in massive and increasing cutbacks and vitally needed social programs here at home, and whereas according to the National Priorities Project, as of January 4th, 2014, the cost of U.S. wars since 2001 have cost U.S. taxpayers more than $1.5 trillion, or an average of $11.26 million every hour. And whereas the cost of these wars to Virginia taxpayers has been $45.5 billion, and whereas in 2014 Virginia taxpayers will pay $15.24 billion in federal taxes for the military, and whereas if spent here at home, these Virginia tax dollars could provide health care coverage for 1 million low-income Virginians, pay for 100,000 elementary school teachers, provide Veterans Administration medical care for 100,000 military veterans, and provide university scholarships for 100,000 students, and still have $500 million left to address environmental concerns. Therefore, the 2014 Virginia People's Assembly calls on the U.S. Congress and President Barack Obama to end all U.S. wars overseas and redirect the money that funds those wars to meet human needs here at home, as well as provide reparations to the societies those wars have damaged in other countries. You're agreeing?
No, a friendly amendment, given that you left out 90% of the cost that she's trying to deal with, friendly amendment, and whereas non-war military spending costs us roughly $1 trillion every year.
Friendly amendment? All right. Let's first vote on the resolution. All of those in favor of adopting this resolution and proposing it to the entire BPA to adopt, raise their hand. All opposed? That's unanimous, right? Okay, friendly amendment is to also add that non-military, but
non-war military spending.
Oh, non-war military, yeah.
Adds,
roughly $1 trillion each and every year.
Each and every year. All in
The
favor?
war spending's a drop in the bucket, is what he's saying.
Yeah. All in favor? All opposed? Can you just write that down? You did good. Okay, the second thing was that, I did want to mention that George W. Bush will be in town in February at the Richmond Forum, and If you sign up to join the Richmond Forum, which is free, they will send you an advance notice of when he will be here. And I think at the very least, we ought to be outside the Richmond Forum, talking to people going in, holding signs, passing out literature about why we object to a war criminal responsible for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan, and thousands of deaths of U.S. service people and civilian contractors, and why we don't think he should be paid money to come here and talk about his exploits. Would you all turn out for something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, very good. John?
I just wanted to, I think,